The brighter the light, the darker the shadow. Behind beautiful success stories, there are often painful times. If you want to be a king, prepare to carry the weight of the crown. That crown may have thorns. Not everyone who reads is successful, but every successful person reads books. You must read books to be successful, right? In my videos, I've always emphasized the importance of reading. However, simply reading is not enough. I would argue that sometimes reading can be even harmful. Today, I'll talk about the cases where reading can negatively impact your life and how to avoid those cases. First, you study love with books. As you gain more knowledge, you start trying to teach others. You begin advising others based on what you've read and learned in books. When I was young, I had a lot of time, so I read many self-help books. As a result, I often saw that people's ways of thinking or living were wrong because I can see things can improve. I try to give them advice they don't ask for. From the other person's perspective, it's exhausting and frustrating. Who am I to give a life advice? Sure, reading will make you smart. If I didn't know anything, I would have kept quiet. But the problem is, I knew just enough. This is because I've read a lot of books. I thought I knew a lot about business, marketing, life, leadership, and etc. Of course, accumulating knowledge is not a bad thing. However, remember this. Knowing something through reading and actually implementing it in reality are completely different. People who need advice will ask you for it. Until then, don't advise or make judgment based on what you know. What you've read in books is not the whole picture. Socrates said, "I know that I know nothing, but knowing that I know nothing makes me wiser than most people." In reality, when you run a business, many problems arise between people. If the CEO gives a guideline with an intent A, it turns into A plus or B or C after passing through several people. This isn't because of the CEO's lack of ability or a lack of systems. Each person has different knowledge background and different reasons for working, so their understanding of what's being asked differs. It's not just about giving orders. Even if you know the answer, applying it is a completely different issue. Of course, you can find answers in books, but most books are made to be easy to read, so they are written as simply as possible. Just because you've read a few books about business doesn't mean you can advise someone on a business. The same applies to life and success. The same goes for YouTube. There are plenty of courses on how to make YouTube videos, but is it really that simple? Those who have tried running a YouTube channel know how difficult it is. The courses aren't wrong, but their advice is often just the tip of the iceberg. Knowing about business and being good at it are different things. Knowing about leadership and demonstrating it are different. Knowing about investment and being good at investing are also different. You can find answers through reading, but mistaking that reading a few books makes you know everything is living in your own fantasy. Love can be learned from books. The same goes for life, success, and leadership. The second case, you only read what entertains you. There are certain words that often appear in self-development books: challenge, growth, passion, consistency. But these words have problems. They sound too beautiful. Books that contain these words often feature stories of overcoming adversity and achieving great success. But who writes self-help books? People who are socially successful and respected. What is the problem? There aren't many books written realistically. Humans tend to remember the past in a glorified way. Everyone has tough times, but when they overcome them and succeed, they write books. Their stories are not wrong, but successful people also had times that were incredibly difficult that they don't know how to describe completely. There are moments where no one acknowledges your efforts, and you must keep pushing every day. These are the times that are hard to write into a book. A story about doing the same thing every day will not attract readers. Those emotions successful people had to go through don't make it into a book. So we need to be cautious when reading. Books full of beautiful words should be read with caution. The brighter the light, the darker the shadow. Behind beautiful success stories, there are often painful times. If you read an amazing story and decide you want to be like that person, you must prepare yourself for the great pain that will come with it. If you only focus on the glamorous stories and think it's easy, you're going to face a completely different situation. Only reading fun books means only reading what you want to read. Don't just focus on success stories. Learn from hardship and trials as well. If you want to be a king, prepare to carry the weight of the crown. That crown may have thorns. No one is perfect. All successful people also have flaws. Read critically. Some things are worth learning, but other parts may not be advice suited for you. Only you can make that judgment. Third case, you don't make decisions. What is good about reading? There are many reasons, but one of them is that it broadens your perspective on the world. We live in a limited space and time. You cannot experience everything that happens in the world. Reading expands your view. By reading, you can learn about what happens in places where you've never been, things you may never experience directly. However, the experience gained through books is just one person's experience. Everyone lives in their own universe. What is the answer for someone in their universe may not be the answer for another person's. What is the answer for someone in their universe may not be the answer for your universe. The worst case scenario is reading one book and trying to follow that person, then reading another book and trying to follow that person, leading to constant instability in life. If your goal changes every time you read a book, that's the worst thing. Maturity is the wisdom to surrender something good in pursuit of something greater. People have too many things they want to do. If you study investing, you want to be an investor. If you watch YouTube videos, you want to become a YouTuber. In the end, you end up doing nothing properly. The key is to gain indirect experience through reading. But let that experience accumulate to create your own path. The happiest life is the life of a philosopher. In other words, someone with rich intellectual ability who can think for themselves and has the perspective to see the world in various ways. This is a happy life. At the end of the day, you must think for yourself, judge for yourself, and make decisions on your own. Having a lot of superficial knowledge doesn't lead to success. You must decide the direction of your life and consistently work toward it. Conclusion. Reading is necessary in many ways. However, reading alone is not the answer. Reading is a useful tool for indirect experience, but true experience only comes when you put it into action. Don't just read the fun parts. Hardship and adversity are essential to success. The effort required for success is often glorified in books. Make a decision by yourself. Reading can give you guidance in your life, but that guidance is not the answer. Only you can decide the answers to your life. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like for more contents like this.